Hello class, this is the extremely fast review of everything that we've covered so that you will have an idea to be prepared for our test next week. So basically I'm not going to explain much. I'm just going to go through all the slides real fast, and if you need to see a slide again, then just stop the video and rewind to that slide. Okay, so are you ready? Let's go. All right, so how do I advance this slide? Okay, all right, so next. All right, here is everything that you need to know for the exam next week. Okay, here's a video on the 6 basic trigonometric functions, so-called total. Okay, there's a slide explaining. Okay, here's how to solve for a missing side or angle. Okay? Here's an example problem. Here's another example problem. All right, here's another one. And another one. Let's see, let me make that so you can see that better. All right, that should be much better. All right, okay. Oh, by the way, if you're, I just learned that if you want to get the degree symbol, you just hit Alt 0176. That's, in decimals. It might work in other stuff. Keep going. All right, here's another example. All right, you remember this slide, the 3 basic triangles? These are the answers to all the slides that I've shown so far. Again, the answer is not the big deal. The big deal is, do you know how to get the answer? Review those slides and see how we got the answers. Okay, here's 6 more videos with examples and problems there. Basically reteach the lesson. Just look at the video so you can see examples. Okay, here's the unit circle that you should be getting very familiar with if not already. Okay, see if you can fill up this first quadrant of the unit circle from memory. I've included all of the pieces right here. So basically, maybe you can figure out where all these pieces go. All right, evaluate. You should use the unit circle in order to be able to figure out what the answer to all these are. Okay. More. Here, I just want you to just pick out something that's equal to the value, which a trig function that will be equal to that. So just backwards. Okay. Matching angle with its reference angle. Remember. Okay. You want to divide these, to find a reference angle, you're going to divide by either 30, 45, or 60, whichever one goes in there evenly. If 30 and 60 both work, always use the bigger one. All right. Match the expression to its sign. No. All right. Okay, this is where you use your reference angle so that you can evaluate. Okay, there's another example. All right, here's how you reference angle and radians. All you really need to look at is the denominator. All right, here's one where we convert it to degrees, and then we find a reference, we find a radian. Okay. All right, here is evaluate. This time you can evaluate it in radians. Okay. More example. All right, another example. Remember the sine. The tangent is the sine over the cosine, or x, or it's the y over the x value. Okay. Remember when you coterminal angles, you got to add either 2 pi or 360 depending on whether you're dealing with degrees or radians. Okay, there's another degrees, all right? Okay, there's another one with degrees. Notice we had to add 360 several times to get the angle under angle under 360. Here's one with radians. Okay, here's one. Make sure you're able to know what quadrant a particular radian angle is in, and then make sure you know the signs in any quadrant. What are the x values? What are the y values? Are they positive or negative? Does they affect the tangent? Draw the answers to all the questions we just talked about. And here are 3 nice videos on the law of sines and cosines, which we use to solve triangles that are not right triangles. And here's the flow chart for determining which law you're going to use on a given problem. Okay, so if you're using law of sines, you got to have an ASA or AAS or SSA condition. But if you only know the sides, then you're going to use the law of cosines. You have an SAS, where the angle's in between the sides, and you use the law of cosines. Okay. Here's an example. We'll use the law of sines. There's another example for a law of sines. Okay. Oh, notice in that previous example, we had to figure out what the angle A was before we could use the law of sines. All right, but here we have 2 separate things to figure out. Okay, once we figured out one, we used it to figure out the other. Basically get all the angles of the triangle first. Okay, here's another one. This one we used the law of cosines. I did 2 approaches here. Here I am using the formula from the lesson that we used. Okay. Let's see, I believe I did that right. Yeah, that's right. Or you can use the formula that we're going to give you on the test. A little more work, but it's actually more calculator stuff. Okay, so you have 2 different ways to use the law of cosines here. Actually, it's just depending on how much work you want to do. All right, here are the answers to the preceding slides I just showed you, and that's all you need for next week. Feel free to stop and go back to any slide that you need to examine in more detail, and I wish you well on the test.